a masterclass that I'm teaching called Half-Assed to Hell Yes, because you deserve a life that lights your soul on fire. And this course, this masterclass that I'm teaching and really sharing with you, and there's a workbook involved as well, is really connecting to your sacral center. And so we all have a sacral center, whether you are a manifester, a projector, a reflector, a generator, or a manifesting generator in human design terms, we all have access to the sacral center. The way that we get to experience it is going to be very different and unique to everyone, which makes it so fascinating, especially to me, who's a projector, and I get to experience it in very many different ways, which allows me to gain the wisdom to share with others as an energetic alignment mentor. So let's get out of our head and let's get into our body. So as long as you're not driving or you're multitasking and listening to this, I would love for you to stop. I would love for you to go inward. I'm going to take my glasses off. I want you to go inward and uncross your legs, put your feet on the ground if you're able to. And I want you to take a deep breath in through your belly, in through your chest. And I want you to sigh it out, okay? So the first breath, we're going to sigh it out. So in through your belly, in through your chest, and sigh. All right, did that feel a little bit delicious? We're gonna do it again, but this time I'm going to ask you to hum. We're going to stimulate the vagal nerve by humming. So let's do this again. So in through your belly, in through your chest, and let it out with a hum. And I'm curious if you felt that. If you felt that vibration move through your body. Did you feel it move through your throat? Did you feel it move down your heart? Did you feel it move down to around your belly button? Did it go further down? We're going to do this again. All right, so take a deep breath in, belly, chest, and we're going to hum it out. And I want you to connect to that feeling. Now, if you are a sacral being, if you are a generator or a manifesting generator in human design, this gets to feel very comfortable to you as a way of making decisions from your body and not from your mind. So when you start with that guttural noise to get out of your head and you start stimulating that relationship to your embodied wisdom, you start connecting to that feeling. Now, we all get to do this, regardless or not if we are a generator or manifesting generator. We still get to feel that yumminess. But if you're a projector, a manifester, or a reflector, this is not the way that you generally make your decisions. But it's still fun to connect to our vagal nerve, to connect to that feeling, and to really connect to our embodied wisdom, the way that we are designed to make decisions, which is not from the mind as we have been taught. We have been taught to think about it, use your head, but instead I invite you to move your ability to make decisions, correct decisions, aligned decisions, move that into your body. So we're talking about the sacral center. And the sacral center is the center of life force energy. This is the center of prana, right? This is the center of chi. Depending on where you're from, how it is that you've come into learning about your energy. And so whether you call it chi or prana or life force energy or sacral energy, we all get to experience it in so many different ways. The sacral center is connected to the ovaries and the prostate. It's connected to our sexual glands in our body. And so this is our creative energy. This is the energy that we create life from. This is the energy where we feel sexual urges. This is the energy where we, as a sacral being, self-generate life force energy so that we have enough energy for the things that light us up, that sets our soul on fire, that feels absolutely good, great, yummy, satisfying, hell yes to you. So really connecting to this energy as a way of making your decisions is going to allow you to dance with the universe. It's going to allow you to dance with synchronicities, coincidences. It's going to allow you to respond in relation to. So the sacral energy and the sacral energy center is connected to your sense of self to the world. The way that you respond in your relationships, the way you respond to that next aligned step. And so it's like a magnet. It's a self-generating magnet that you get to turn on when you build a relationship to that energy center. The more that it is lit up, the more that it is feeling good, the more that you have a relationship to it, the more that you are going to attract experiences to say hell yes to or no. And so many times we make decisions for the wrong reasons. We make decisions because we're people pleasing. We make decisions because we're worried about our financial security. We stay in jobs that do not light us up, that do not make us feel good, that make us feel as though we're selling a part of ourselves to get money, right? We say yes to our responsibilities because we feel burdened by them. We feel yes because we have a sense of loss of power, and we lose our sense of empowerment because we give our power away every time we say yes when it's not aligned. When we say yes, when we really say no, when we really mean to say no. When we say yes and we only half-ass it, we only go into it half-heartedly. And when we continuously go into agreements or respond to life with only half our heart, with only a little bit of energy, we're going to get those results. And as a self prophesizing, right? I only put half of myself into it and I don't really get anything back. What does that tell us? But so many times we don't really realize that. And so we think that this is true for us. This is always going to be true for us. I try, right? I try. And that's the whole point. I try. When you're trying, you're pushing too hard instead of allowing. So for my non-sacral beings, for my my manifestors, my reflectors, my projectors, We take in energy out of the center and we amplify it out. So we don't have our own connection to this energy all the time. In fact, we take in this energy and we amplify it out in a way where we can work harder than anyone else for a short period of time. So back in the days when I was a CrossFitter and I was, a Spartan racer and I was really quite active, I could lift more, I could run faster than anyone else. However, I thought that's who I was. And so I would continue to try harder and try harder and try harder. And I would burn out and I would get sick. And it's because I didn't understand my own energy. And I'm curious if this has happened to you as well, where you create this story in your head that I'm Superwoman because I can do more than anyone else as a projector, manifester, or a reflector, but it's not sustainable. And the lesson, the wisdom of the Sacral Center is enough enough? When do you know when enough is enough? And so for those of us who take it in and amplify it out, and we don't have that consistent, self-generating life force energy, we can struggle. We can struggle with not knowing when enough is. However, generators and manifesting generators, they burn out too. They burn out because they say yes to the wrong things. They enter into agreements and contracts and put their energy into things that do not light them up. And if you are constantly using that energy in, not efficiently, going half-assed, saying yes when you mean no, people pleasing, giving your power away, you're going to build up, this low-grade resentfulness and bitterness and frustration. And it's going to start burning out that beautiful life force energy center that is meant to sustain you. And so I'm curious, how are you feeling? Are you full of vitality? Do you have lots of energy? Do you wake up in the morning and feel crystal clear on your purpose and have enough energy to fulfill not only that, but the things that you absolutely love to do as well? Many generators and manifesting generators, they can fake it for a long time until they hit that burnout stage. And so I was reading, where was I reading this? I was reading this in Carolyn Miss's Sacred Contracts, actually. And she was talking about the Sacral Life Center as a place of not only our sex, creating energy, creating life, your creativity, but it's also a center of money, influence, control over people, competition, and self-defense. Now, this is also plays out in the human design spectrum, if you see that as well. It is a center where there is war and peace. It is a center of mothering, being that mother bear energy. This is the only center where we get to create different ways to make money. So this is a center where we make our money. It's connected to our financial security. It's connected to our enoughness. Am I enough to make money? Do I know when enough money is? Do I know how to keep it sustainable? So it's very much connected to our survival. The first three chakras, the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus, are very much connected to our survival. And so when you're in survival mode all the time, it's very hard to be creative because you're reacting all of the time. You're not responding from a place of alignment. You're responding, you're reacting from a place of survival. Very different energies. That is not sustainable. We are not designed to live in survival mode forever. That is, that's a recipe for adrenal fatigue, burnout, sickness, ill health. And I was reading in Sacred Contracts here, and she was talking about how we have the choice as sacral beings to create or to abort. Whether it's babies, whether it's ideas, whether it's projects. And what happens is when you start a project, when you start your creative flow and you cut it off, you abort. And you do this often enough and it becomes a pattern in your body, it creates an illness in your body because you are cutting off the flow of your creative capacity. You're creating this contract within yourself. And so she was talking about how she had a patient, many of the men that she was working with have prostate cancer because their creative projects were aborted midstream, meaning that whenever they were starting stuff, they were stopping it just as much. And this is creating an energetic pattern within them that caused an illness. Now, as women, we also have a choice, right, in our creative way. And so really doing the healing work, really looking at the contracts that you've made within yourself, whether it's your soul, whether it's ancestral, some of the creative aspects within you that you may have started and never completed. You may have started and given up on yourself. You may have never had the energy to start at all. Many of the women that I work with are going to be first generational entrepreneurs. And and so we get to be the first in this creative capacity, as long as we have the energy to say hell yes, as long as we are creating enough energy and that pressure to make the right commitments, to be fully devoted to that commitment that we make, and to see it through, to follow through, to allow it to fully move through the entire creative process. And that way we don't break, or we don't create a samsara. We don't create a limited pattern. We don't create this as part of who we are. It's the follow through. So in human design, this is the gate 29 of the human design system, coming from the sacral into the G center, the sense of self, through the gate of embodiment, gate 46. And so this is the energy to create a commitment, to create something to devote yourself to use perseverance, to enter in full-heartedly so that you can move that through the entire creative process. And when you do so, when you enter into this contract with the right intention, with the right energy, you used your strategy, you responded correctly to life, you get something that we call luck. You're lucky, or you seem lucky. But really what this is this is alignment. And the universe is supporting you. You are supported in those creative endeavors that you said yes to. So I'm going to leave that there today. This was just a little introduction to the Sacral Center and how we get to use it to our advantage efficiently and effectively and healthy when we have that awareness within ourselves as to how it is that we connect to it, what is our relationship to our sacral center, do we have consistent energy or not? We get to be wise, we get to be guides, energetic guides of this center. And really, as we move forward into the weekend, into the masterclass on Friday, really starting to look at our life and trim the fat. So if you're in this, if you sign up for this class, I actually have a workbook that you get to go through and start looking at some of the areas in your life where you may have said yes, and you're kind of half-assing it, where you're not really fully devoted to it, where you're wasting energy and your energy is scattered in so many different places that you don't have the energy for that creative endeavor, whether it's starting a new fitness routine, whether it's starting a new diet, whether it's starting a new business or having a baby, right? We're going to be looking at different aspects within our lives and see where it is that we can trim the fat. All right, I hope that you guys have a fantastic week. I'm going to drop the link in, it's either in my bio for you on Instagram, and I'll put it in my comments for you on Facebook so that you can join us on Friday, August the 26th at 12 o'clock Central Standard Time. And you can watch this video, it'll be in the module. Go through the workbook if you're one of those people that like to plan ahead and like to print it out. I invite you to do so. And I may come live again throughout the week and go a little bit deeper into the Sacral Center, the way we're designed to make our decisions in life, and the 4 core needs of a healthy sacral center. All right, have yourself a wonderful day. Stop recording.